Hey everyone, it's Intuitive Shauna and Dean. He's coming on in, he's making his way. And we are here because it's October 1st and we want to wish everyone a happy start to the high holy season of Halloween season. So for a lot of us, Halloween is every day, but we get to go extra hard for the entire month of October. So I don't know about you, I woke up feeling October in the air, like I could just feel it. It was here. I got pumpkins on my porch now, so even though it's like 95 degrees in Los Angeles, it's October, it's fall, here we go. It's the season of the witch. And I wanted to do something special today. I felt called to do this a couple days ago and save it for October 1st. And it was going to be kind of like a monthly divination, but instead of doing like a card of the day or a card of the month or some kind of reading like that, I was very specifically called to do bibliomancy, very specifically with this book, which is the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs by Cunningham. I love this book. I recommend it all the time. I feel like it's one of those that you just can't really grow out of because it's a really wonderful reference book for all sorts of different herbs and plants, trees, all sorts of things in here, and it gives you the element, the planetary correspondence. Sometimes I think the deities that the plant may correspond with is in there, as well as its powers, its ritual uses, all sorts of stuff. So it's great. And the cool thing about it is that it actually has drawings as well. So there's a bit of a reference for you to know what the plant looks like. So this is mandrake, which a lot of us, when we think of mandrake, we think of like kind of like what Harry Potter showed a lot of people, you know, where like the root looks like a baby, but the roots do look like people, but sometimes we have a hard time getting access to them, so they're kind of more chopped up. So this lets you see what the plant would look like as a whole. So it's a really great thing to have. And so what I thought we would do is look at herbs that would help us for October. So this is something that you can work into your Samhain working. Maybe it's going to be a plant that you can study throughout the month and get to know that spirit and see if it's a plant spirit that you should build a relationship with, or one that you can just kind of throw into some kind of spell work or leave on your altar, or even leave as an offering for the spirits this Halloween. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this 3 different times. So you can look at this as an, okay, I'm going to just pick the herb that calls to me, that seems the most interesting. Use all 3, a combination of whatever works for you. So we're going to go ahead and start. And we're going to just go ahead and just turn the pages. And I'm just thinking, what is the first herb that we need to know about that's going to be useful for everyone for the month of October? Heather. And this one actually does have a little bit of a drawing there, so you can see what heather looks like. So its folk names are common heather, heath, ling, and Scottish heather. It's a feminine herb, and its planetary correspondence is with Venus, and it's a water element, and its deity is Isis. Its powers are for protection, rainmaking, and luck. Heather is carried around as a guard against rape and other violent crimes, or just to bring good luck. White heather is best for this purpose. Heather is burned with fern outside, and it attracts rain. Heather also has long been used to conjure ghosts. There we go. Now we know why it's for October. It's been used to conjure ghosts. So for those of you that want to attend a seance or a ghost hunt or something like that, get a little spooky and get in touch with the other side, heather's definitely going to be something to keep in your arsenal and use for this purpose. I personally would recommend using that with a little bit of sweetgrass to go ahead and attract some spirits, then that veil out a little bit more. I personally like to use heather as well for anything to do with community and friendships. It's really good for friendship magic. All right, what's our next one? Our second herb for October that we need to know about to build a relationship or leave as an offering is raspberry. I'm assuming everyone knows what raspberry looks like, but we do have a drawing of that as well. So folk names for raspberry is European raspberry and red raspberry. It is a feminine herb, and its planet is Venus. Again, its element is water, and its powers are for protection and love. Its magical uses are the brambles or branches of raspberry are hung up at doors and windows for protection. This is also done when a death has occurred so that the spirit won't re-enter the house once it's left. Raspberry is served as a love-inducing food, and the leaves are carried by pregnant women to alleviate pains of pregnancy and childbirth. This is very interesting because our second herb for October once again talks about spirits and death and things like that. So this is something where we can take the branches or brambles of raspberries and hang them above our doors after someone's died so that the spirit doesn't re-enter the home. I've also read things, not necessarily about raspberries, but about rosemary, that rosemary used to be used and burned in the room where someone passed away to help push the spirit out. So if this is ever something that you encounter and you want to make sure that you're doing what you can to encourage your loved one to cross over and do what they need to do and finish with their next step of their spiritual journey, you can burn rosemary and then maybe put some raspberry brambles over your door if you would want to. This is something to think about, because if you're trying to conjure up spirits and stuff like that and you're burning the heather, then you might not want the raspberry, because then it's going to keep the spirits out of your house. But that does sound like that would be really good for spiritual protection, because especially right now the veil is really thin. People are seeing spirits already. I've had people tell me that they've been seeing them since like mid-September. And while that is excellent and it's really fun and I love me a good ghost adventure, I do not want them in my house. So definitely something to think about to keep spirits out, to put the raspberry brambles above your door. Raspberry does grow in a lot of places, such as even Los Angeles. So if you're listening or watching this from LA, you can probably find it there or other places. But if not, I would try and maybe just see if some of the leaves, that if you could find that, or even maybe just order some dried raspberry leaves from your local apothecary and just hang them in a bag above your door. I think that would work just as well. So we got 2 down. Both seem to kind of hit the spot for spiritual stuff for October. Let's see what our 3rd herb for the month of October is. All right, we have rue. I love rue. For those of you that know me, you know I'm a huge rue fan. It is sacred to the Strega, which is what I practice, Italian witchcraft. So rue's folk names are garden rue, German rue, herb of grace, herbie grass, mother of herbs, rue, ruta. It's a masculine herb and its planet is Mars. Let me just say, our first 2 were feminine herbs and their planet was Venus, and now we finally got a masculine one to come and balance some stuff out with the planet of Mars. And for those of you that are familiar with Greek and Roman mythology, we do know that Venus and Mars did have a very spicy love affair, so I find that kind of cool. Its deities are Diana and Aradia, both again very big in Strega. Its powers are for healing, health, mental powers, exorcism, and love. The magical uses. Rue leaves are placed on the forehead to relieve headaches, worn around the neck. Rue aids in recuperation from illnesses and also wards off future health problems. Rue is added to healing incenses and poppets. Fresh rue, sniffed, clears the head in love matters and also improves the mental process. Rue added to baths breaks all hexes and curses that may have been cast against you. It also is added to exorcism incenses and mixtures. It's protective when hung up at the door or placed in sachets, and the fresh leaves are rubbed on the floorboard to send back any ill spells sent against you. The Romans ate rue as a preservative against the evil eye, and the plant was also carried to guard the bearer from poisons, werewolves, and all manners of illnesses. A fresh sprig of rue is used as a sprinkler to distribute salt water throughout the house. This clears it of negativity. Mix fresh rue juice in the morning with morning dew and sprinkle in a circle around you while performing magical arts for protection, if desired or needed. Rue is another plant that's said to grow best when stolen, and indeed, its presence in the garden beautifies and protects it. For some reason, toads also have an aversion to rue. That's kind of interesting about the toads. I have heard about rue being best when stolen. So you can go and like just cut a piece from someone's yard if you happen to see it and root it in some water first. Usually you can get some nice roots growing and then you can go ahead and plant it. In my experience, I feel that rue is a lot happier when it's in the ground or a very large flower box versus a pot. I have not seen these plants thrive very well in pots. You can find them a lot of times actually at grocery stores in the produce aisle or wherever they sell like the fresh herbs and things like that. The first thing I do want to say is this did kind of give some medical advice on how to like use rue to relieve headaches and different illnesses. And while I think it's great that people are interested in herbal medicine, I'm not a doctor or an herbal expert by any means, and I cannot validate how true or safe this is. So please do not try any of the physical remedies at home or as a way of like a medical substitution. That is not why we read that. I was just reading the passage in full for you because this is what our bibliomancy practice asked us to do and read for today. And again, I was wondering if we were going to be able to see anything about spirits or something to kind of keep with this theme for October, and boom, it was right there in the second paragraph. Rue is good for exorcisms. So this is something, let's find it again. It said to put it, add it to healing incenses and poppets. Nope, that's not where we were. Here we go. It's added to protection incenses and mixtures. So this is something if you needed to boot a spirit from your home or you feel like you have a spirit attachment, rue is going to be your friend for this. And so you can definitely do something with rue. Incense wise, maybe even just keep it in a mojo bag. It's very protective. So rue goes into a lot of my protection magic and cleansings. So the first thing I would recommend, if you do happen to go on a ghost hunt or something this month, Dina is just like driving the point home. He's telling you guys to listen. If you go on a ghost hunt or something this month and you feel like you've kind of brought something back with you, really easy thing to do is go get yourself a bowl of spring water with some sea salt. If you don't have access to a spring, you can buy a bottle of spring water or just go ahead and use filtered water if you have to. And take a sprig of fresh rue and mix it clockwise. And then you can go around your home sprinkling it and then take the water and dip it in and sprinkle it on yourself, actually, is what I would do. And then you can take that sprig of rue and hang it above your door. And that's going to go ahead and add a little bit of extra protection and cleansing for you for the month. So our herbs for the month of October are heather, rue, and raspberry. Took me a second. I was forgetting the second one. I had fun doing that bibliomancy for you guys. And I think it was really cool how all of them talked about death and ghosts and exorcism and some stuff. So it definitely kind of fits the spooky vibe for October. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you all have a marvelous Halloween season and I will see you next time.